Alright, today we will be disassembling an HP Omen 17 gaming laptop. This particular model is the Omen 17-AN012DX, but most of the HP Omen 17 series will be identical. So first we will go ahead and flip it over and just remove the bottom screws. It looks like about 10 of them. And then we should be able to peer inside the laptop. Alright, once we have the screws out, except for these two which are internally retained, we'll go ahead and use a straight edge to remove the bottom cover from the rest of the laptop. Alright, so once you have it started with the straight edge, you can just work your way around it and undo the little snaps around the perimeter, and then you have the bottom case cover off, and then you can have access to the internals of the laptop. Alright, as always, the first thing we're going to do is unplug and remove the battery. So for this type of connector, just use your fingernails underneath the little tabs on the connector and pull it straight out, and then we can remove the screws. I forgot to mention earlier also, this is a 2.5 Phillips, and it looks like that's all you really need to disassemble the laptop. These all look like Phillips head connectors, so if you have a small Phillips head, you're good to go. Alright, now we can remove the memory sticks. Just spread the little retainers and pull the stick straight out. And since it's right here, we can also do the Wi-Fi card. I'll just pull those antennas off, then remove the screw, and pull the card out. Alright, for the hard drive, this type of connector, you're just going to flip up just like that, and then remove the connector, and then push the retainer back down. And then the hard drive caddy will just slide right up and out, and then you can just remove the little rubber sides to the caddy, and there's your hard drive. Alright, so we're going to have to do it anyway, so we might as well do it now. The two vent covers for the CPU fans, just 4 screws each, and they just pop right off. Alright, now we can do the little, I guess those are just kind of braces. I'll go ahead and remove those. And this looks like this one is a little bit trapped by that cable, so we'll go ahead and remove the connectors. And just pull the cable through. Alright, so now we'll just remove the connector and the one remaining screw for the right hand fan and remove it. So just take your fingernails against the little tabs, pull up. It looks like the other side is a combo with the heatsink, so we'll go ahead and do the same thing. Pull up the connector, and then we'll have to remove the 3 heatsink screws as well to free that side. Give it a little wiggle, pull it free. And then over here we can go ahead and just wiggle that DC jack out. And we'll go ahead and remove the in-out board as well. Couple screws, and then just lift up on that connector right there and pull out the ribbon. Alright, so usually we remove the heatsink off the motherboard before removing the motherboard, but in this case the screws for the heatsink are really tight, and in order to remove them when they're that tight you have to press down really hard, which is bad news on the motherboard unless you have your hand underneath supporting it. So we'll go ahead and just pull the motherboard first and then remove the heatsink. So we'll go ahead and remove any ribbons that are connected, and then we'll go for the screws. Most of these connectors are just flip up and pull the ribbon out. Some of them are the type that you got to get your fingernails under, but nothing too extreme. Right, it appears that all of the ribbons are disconnected. Now we can remove the screws. Okay. So when removing a motherboard, it's always best to just slightly wiggle it and make sure that there's no other fasteners holding it down. You never want to pull out really hard. And a lot of laptop models have the audio or USB ports poking through the case. So you always want to lift the motherboard from the side that's opposite to the USB ports and whatever other ports are on there, because those will stay inside the little cutouts in the case when you're trying to lift up. So you always want to lift from the side that doesn't have the ports. So there is the motherboard. Alright, now I'm going to remove the power button. And then in preparation of separating the display assembly from the palm rest, we'll just make sure that those ribbons and antenna cables are nice and loose, and then we can go ahead and remove the remaining screws for the hinges. And once you have the screws removed, we'll go ahead and move the hinge out of the way. Double check to make sure the cables are free, and then we can separate the palm rest from the display assembly. Alright, now for the display assembly, like most laptops, we're going to separate the bezel from the back cover assembly, and the seam is running around the front here. So just get a straight edge in there. And just gently pry up on the little snaps. Okay, so this has snap retainers and adhesive around the entire screen. So once you get part of the bezel kind of pulled up, then you're going to have to go and trace around the screen, pulling up on the bezel to remove that adhesive as well. So it's got to kind of unstick and also pop out of the little catches. Once you have the rest of the perimeter, save the bottom for last, because you're going to need a straight edge or some other tool to get under there and just gently work the bezel from the screen. At least get it started, and then you can just kind of gently work the bottom free as well. Alright, so we got it loose of all the snaps, and it just looks like there's a little bit of tape holding it together. It's kind of hard to see. So we're just going to have to use our thumbs and kind of press down on the taped portion as we're lifting the bezel out. And there's the bezel, and there's the tape. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start by removing the hinges. And now we can go ahead and remove the LCD screen as well. It might be helpful to maybe move the video cable out of little catches. That way you'll have a little bit more slack to unplug the video cable, because sometimes they really have them taped on well. So go ahead and remove the 4 screws holding on the LED panel. And we'll go ahead and flip it over. So there is the video cable, so we'll need to go ahead and just peel back the tape. And then definitely put a thumb on the kind of this black cover so you don't rip it. And once you have that pulled back, the cable will just pull out. A little bit more tape. And there's your LCD panel. Alright, now we can get the rails off. I'm going to remove the rails to remove the rest of the video cable, which is a combo webcam video cable. Alright, now we can remove the rails. And it helps to push them toward the inside of the laptop to release from the little catches here. There's your rails. Alright, so we'll go ahead and unplug the webcam. It's a very tiny connector. Sometimes be a challenge to pull it out, especially since HP has kind of put bits of plastic on the other side of it. Alright, now we can finish stringing it out and removing the video cable. Alright, so with the webcam, it's always best to, if possible, get it from the bottom or the top instead of trying to lift from one side. It will help to prevent damage. They don't give a whole lot of room on this one, but we can get it from the top. So just kind of gently pry it up and work along the top, and you should be able to free the webcam. And the Wi-Fi antennas are right here on the right, just stuck on and fed through the little channel here. So if you need to remove them and replace them, they're just stuck on with adhesive. So that's it. That's how you disassemble an HP Omen 17 gaming laptop. Hope this video helped you. If it helped you out or you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.